Okay, so this is video 3. We will be finding scale factor. I want you to take a look at problem number 8. So that's E, F, G, H, I, and I want you to put 8 on your notebook paper. Go ahead and put the pre-images right here, and then the images over here. I want you to find the coordinates for each point based on the graph. All right? So I'll give you the first ones, E and F, but go ahead and pause the video and find the remaining coordinates, please. All right, so let's make sure we have the same coordinates and that we're working with the same numbers. These are what I got for the pre-image coordinates, and my image coordinates are right here. All right, so if you need to pause the video, go ahead, but I want to make sure we're starting with the same numbers. Okay, so now we need to find the scale factor. That is the question that they are asking. What scale factor created the image? So you should first ask yourself, is the scale factor going to be bigger than 1 or smaller than 1? Take a look at the numbers. I'm going from 9 to 6, for example, 6 to 4, 3 to 2, -6 to -4. So are the numbers getting bigger or smaller? Well, they're getting smaller. So for the question, scale factor, is it bigger or smaller than 1? We know that the scale factor should be smaller than 1. The scale factor should be less than 1. Okay, so how are we going to do this? I want you to copy what I'm about to write. The easiest way for us to solve for scale factor is to figure out what the image divided by the pre-image is going to be. So we're going to take the image and divide it by the pre-image. Okay, so let's take 2 points that go together. We know 6 and 9 go together. So I'm going to take 6 and divide it by 9. That's our first example. 6 divided by 9. Now, we already know that this looks like a fraction that can be simplified. So how do I simplify it? I have to divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So what number can I divide 6 and 9 by? Well, I can divide them both by the number 3. And when I simplify that, it'll turn into a smaller fraction. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the scale factor should be 2 over 3, or 2/3. And 2 over 3 is smaller than 1, so it works. But I want to double check just to make sure that this 2 over 3 is in fact our scale factor. So I can use a different example. Let's use 4 and 6. So this f value, 6, goes with this f prime value, 4. So I'm going to take the f prime value, 4, and divide it by 6. 4 divided by 6, because I'm taking the image and dividing it by the pre-image. Now, again, this looks like something that can be simplified. So I want to know what number can I divide the numerator by and the denominator by. So taking a look at 4 and 6, I can know that I can divide both of those by 2. So let's solve for that. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. It looks like we found the same scale factor. Now, these are easy because they are positive numbers. I want to make sure you know that it can work for any of the numbers. So let's do one of the negative ones. I see that this -4 value goes with this -6 value for the h and h prime. So I'm going to take the image, -4, and I'm going to divide it by the pre-image, -6. Let's simplify the fraction. I can divide the top and the bottom by 2. So -4 divided by 2 is -2. -6 divided by 2 is -3. So that's my new scale factor. So my question is, are these all equivalent? And yes, they are. Because when I have a negative on the top and a negative on the bottom, they cancel So my scale factor is actually just 2 over 3. Now, in this case, I did it 3 different times, but you only really have to do it 1 time to get the scale factor. So my scale factor is 2 over 3. Now, for some of you guys, this is difficult or confusing, so I want to show you why it makes sense. You can always double check. So you already know that the pre-image times the scale factor must equal the image. So let's take our first example. 9 times 2 over 3 must equal 6. So 9 times our scale factor, 2 over 3, must equal 6. Let's double check to see if that's correct. I can put 9 over 1, and I multiply fractions straight across. So 9 times 2 is 18. 1 times 3 is 3. And if I simplify this, 18 divided by 3, I get 6. Did I double check that 9 times 2/3 equals 6? I did. So it must be correct. If you don't believe me, let's do one more double check. Let's do -6 and -4. All right, so we're saying -6 times our scale factor, which is 2/3, must equal what? Well, -6 times 2/3 must equal -4. So let's prove that. I can put -6 over 1, and then again, I multiply fractions straight across. -6 times 2 is -12. 1 times 3 is 3, and if I simplify this down, -12 divided by 3 is -4. So I just showed you a couple different ways. I double checked it twice, and I solved for the scale factor 3 separate times. You do not need to do all of this. You just need to divide the image by the pre-image to get the scale factor. If you're done with number 8, go ahead and try problems 7, 6, and 2. They are similar problems that will test the same skill.